All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Craig Cannings. I'm one of the co-founders here at VA Classroom, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 skills your clients will need here in 2018. All right, well, just a real quick intro of who I am and where I come from. Like I said earlier, I am Canadian. I grew up in Vancouver, Canada on the West Coast. This is my wife and business partner, Kelly, and we started VA Classroom almost 10 years ago. So this is where we're coming up in the next year to our 10th year anniversary online, which is pretty amazing to think how time flies. Now, I wanted you, of course, to meet the whole team. It's not just Kelly and I. This is our team. This is our family. We have 5 daughters, ranging in age from 15 down to 8. And we work in a virtual setting. So we work in a home-based office. All of our team, our business team, works virtually. So we get the benefit of hanging out with these awesome girls a lot, and they are the greatest blessing of my life. And we just added another teenager. Not to the, there's still 5, but one just turned 13. So we have 2 teenagers, and that's an exciting time. I think that's the best way for me to package that right now, isn't it? It's fun, exciting, emotional, and awesome. But it's such a blessing to be able to do this kind of internet-based business from literally anywhere in the world. And we have traveled lots, but we do reside now in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada is where we are from. All right, and yes, you probably noticed something. I'm a bit outnumbered. Did you notice that? It's kind of a 6-to-1 ratio, and people often, in our VA Classroom community, we probably have about 90% female. There are 10% men that are in our community, but that ratio kind of fits well with my own demographic, my own family as well. It all works. So just to give you a quick timeline of VA Classroom, I actually started working online in an educational software company back in 2002. So that's going back now 15 years I've been online. Now, in 2004, our company really started to grow. And we'd got these new contracts, and we needed to hire a lot of staff, and we were all working virtually. So it was we wanted to keep we didn't want to have a physical office to go to. We wanted to all work virtually. And so I was responsible for training and development of all new staff members. And we ended up hiring about 40 additional staff, and I trained them all. And I would create manuals, and I'd do videos, and I loved it. It was really my thing. And it's interesting. Back then, I didn't use the term virtual assistant to all the people I was training, but we were hiring marketing assistants, sales assistants, customer service people. And really what I was doing was training virtual assistants. But the light bulb went on a couple years later when I realized, hey, I'm doing this for our company. What would it look like if I went and created sort of training programs for all types of people that want to become virtual assistants and work virtually online? And that's when Kelly and I launched VA Classroom in 2008 with our very first class that had, proud to say, we had 7 people in that first class. It was such a win just to see that people were going to actually enroll in one of our courses. But things grew exponentially as the VA industry grew, as many of you know. Some of you may be new to the industry, but it has grown so much in the last 10 years. Over the years, since up to about 2016, I have designed over 100 courses, and we've delivered it to over 10,000 students worldwide. So we've grown up a little bit from that first class of 7. That's because the industry's grown up. And if you're coming into the VA industry right now, let me tell you, you're coming in at a really good time, because entrepreneurs understand and believe in the value of building virtual team, and they understand what a virtual assistant does now. When I started in 2008, and I would go to a conference and I would tell people what I do, I run an online university for virtual assistants, they would have a very vacant look on their face, not really clear on what I did. Now when I go to a conference and I tell them I run an online university for virtual assistants, typically the response is like, hey, do you think we could go for a coffee or something? I'm building my virtual team, and I need to add a VA that knows WordPress and social media, and could you help me figure this all out? That's typically the response now, because the industry and the demand for virtual team and virtual assistants is is as high as it's ever been. All right. Okay, so and then the final thing is, last year in 2016, we launched a brand new university, entirely new platform, over 45 courses. We're really proud of this university, and I'm actually going to tell you a bit about that, about the university and the next intake we have coming up right now, a little bit later on. So that's the bit of the history of VA Classroom and how we arrived to where we are today. All right, now a couple quick housekeeping items. If you signed up and registered for this webinar, you would have received an email that had this link in it, or a link to our Virtual Assistant Success Toolkit. Did you all get that? I hope you found that valuable. There's about 100 tools and apps that you can download and start to go through. These are apps that your clients are using, that you can use to build your business as well. Okay, so that is one thing. I want to make sure you had a copy of that. Good. It looks like you got some good feedback on it as well. The other one is, did you get your workbook? This is the workbook for today. So I hate to call it a workbook because I guess it means I'm going to put you to work. Well, I am kind of throughout this workshop. But that's the URL if you did not get to download your workbook. It's tinyurl.com/VA workbook. Okay. But if you saw that, if you just signed up a few minutes ago, you may not have even seen that. So you can fire up the printer if you want and hit that link into your browser and start to download it. It's really sort of a fill-in-the-blank template to kind of guide you through the important information that I'm going to take you through today. All right, so there is your workbook. All right, so the workshop agenda, fairly simple. We're going to start by talking about the 3 important shifts that I see happening right now in the virtual assistant industry and why we need to pay attention to them. We're going to talk about the top 10 skills clients are seeking in 2018 and beyond. So as we look into the next year, what is it that really clients need? If you could always answer that question, then you could always make sure that your services are very relevant, right? You don't want to be delivering services that are outdated or that nobody needs anymore. And we're going to tackle that one in that section. And then I'm going to finish with 5 winning strategies for promoting those skills and services to the right kind of audience. All right, and then at the end, I'm going to wrap up and give you a preview of VA Classroom University, tell you why we're so excited about it, and tell you about our next intake. All right, so lots to cover. Stay with me, and I think you're going to get a lot of value from this. It sounds like some people got the workbook and not the toolkit. I'm going to go back just a slide here real quick, and you'll see there's the URL. It's just tinyurl. If someone doesn't mind typing that in, because I'm not a good multitasker, tinyurl.com/VA Toolkit 2017. Okay, so that is, you can access that, download it, and check it out after our workshop today. Okay, so have you seen this movie before? This is a movie that came out about a year ago called Hidden Figures. Oh, someone popped the URL in there for VA Toolkit. Yes, it is such a good movie. This movie, I would say arguably from my end, one of the most inspiring movies that I've ever seen. And don't go out and watch it now. Stay with me in this workshop. But Hidden Figures is on Netflix, FYI. But it tells the story of 3 African-American women and the incredible roles that they played in the launch of the very first, putting the very first man into space in America. And then it led to eventually other missions like the first man on the moon. And they played instrumental roles. And it's an incredible story. But there's one that I want to share that really is relevant for what we're talking about today. On the right, and this is the actor. I'll show you the real person in a moment. The woman in the green outfit, Dorothy Vaughan, she plays Dorothy Vaughan in the actual movie. And she's a mathematician, and she kind of runs the Human Computing Center. So back then in the 60s, you know, we didn't have computers as we know it. So they had human computers doing all the mathematical equations that they needed to figure out to successfully launch a rocket into space and have it orbit around the Earth. And so there was a team of African-American math wizards that were in this room, and they were basically called human computers. Well, during this time, Dorothy Vaughan started to see technology was merging, and there was an introduction of something known as the IBM. Y'all heard of that before? The IBM. Well, in the movie, I wish I could show a picture to you. NASA ships in the IBM, and they didn't know what size it was going to be, and it doesn't even fit in the room. They've got this massive room, and they have to actually like tear down the wall to actually put in the first personal computer, which is fitting into an entire room. Doesn't that blow your mind when you think of some of you are watching this on an iPad or a smartphone or a laptop? The first computers were a whole massive room. And so she saw the writing on the wall, and she saw that if this computer really takes shape, then it's going to take all their jobs, because it's going to do all the computing at a much faster rate. And so she goes to the local library, where at the time, which is super hard to even believe it was like this, but there was only a section in the library for where African Americans could go, where they called colored individuals back then. And there was the white section. And so she snuck into the white section because she wanted to find out she wanted to read about the programming language that goes into figuring out the IBM. So she gets caught and gets kicked out of the library, but she takes the book anyways. And she starts reading through and learning this programming language. And then she starts to sneak into the computer lab where all the other, I should say, white men that were working on this computer could not figure out how to use it. But she had learned the programming language and started to teach herself, and pretty soon they were asking her how they could use it. The long and the short of it, she eventually becomes the manager of the computing lab at NASA. Isn't that inspiring? And that was at a time she had to overcome major racial discrimination and bigotry. But because she was always putting herself ahead, she was learning, she was foreseeing what was coming next, she created opportunities for herself in a big way. And so watch the movie. It is a super inspirational movie, but it's also, it also really is relevant to your own path as you become a VA or as you develop your VA business, that you are always looking ahead and saying, what are the next skills that I can develop that will help me to really create the business that I want? Okay. Deborah said she cried. Yeah, I love that movie. We could talk about that all day, but there's lots to cover. So I want you to consider, and I challenge you to consider adopting a Dorothy Vaughan state of mind. Like, she is my inspiration, this woman. And yes, I think someone watch it with I watched it with my daughters, and it was super inspiring moment. But adopt a Dorothy state of mind as you approach your VA business. And that is a couple things. You want to be relentlessly committed to learning, growing, and developing new skills every day. Because believe it or not, even though technology started to move back in the 60s when Dorothy was at NASA, it's nothing compared to what happens today. We are moving at such a meteoric pace that it is really hard to keep up. The skills and services that you're delivering to clients today may look fundamentally different 1 to 2 years from now. And so that is how, this is the new world of work that we are operating in. The second thing is, she was very proactive in identifying new opportunities, recognizing that her job could become obsolete, so I'd better learn some new skills so that I become relevant. And that's exactly what she did. And that's what you want to do, is be proactive in looking at the new opportunities that you can tap into to stay on that cutting edge. And the final thought is that she was motivated to overcome the challenges of her day, which is incredible bigotry and racial discrimination, to achieve her goals and ultimately become the manager of the computing lab, the computing lab supervisor. And so that's another thing, is we have to be motivated to constantly, continually learn so that we can develop the kind of businesses that we want. Okay, so that really taps in, that really encompasses the 3 shifts that I want to talk about that are happening in our VA industry right now. The first shift number 1. So if you have your workbook, you could pull out a pen and you can start to fill this out. So this is the first one, is a lifelong learning, the shift from hobby to lifeline. Okay, lifelong learning, the shift to from hobby to lifeline. I want you to check out this quote. This is from a book that it's a long, meaty book. I highly recommend just reading chapter 8, because it's all about learning and development and why we need to keep our skills sharp in this age of acceleration where everything's moving so quickly. The book's called Thank You for Being Late by Thomas Friedman. He wrote the book The World is Flat many years ago. He says this: when I graduated from college, I got to find a job. My girls, his daughters, will have to invent theirs. I attended college to learn skills for life, And lifelong learning for me afterward was kind of a hobby. My girls went to college to learn the skills that will garner them their first job. But lifelong learning for them is a necessity for every job thereafter. That is the new world of work we live in. There was a time where people would go to their continuing education centers in their local area, and they might take courses that would fuel their hobby, which, they still have that today. But now people are going online, like even at VA Classroom University and other places, on their spare time, on their lunch breaks, at night, in order to develop the skills that will keep them current and create new opportunities for them. That is the world of work that we live in, whether we like it or not. That's where we're at. So I want you to meet Teresa Scholes. Teresa is one of the mentors at VA Classroom University. We have a number of mentors that run our Facebook community, and she's incredible. I've known her for about 8 years. She's been a VA for about 10, and she's absolutely committed to learning new technology all the time. She learns all sorts of tools, whether it's setting up shopping carts or e-commerce systems, creating membership sites, designing WordPress sites, setting up email marketing platforms. Yes, it is a nice cat, but let's stay on task here. All sorts of different technologies. She's committed to learning new tools, and all the time she's getting referred to new clients. Really, she doesn't even market herself anymore because people know that Teresa's on the cutting edge when it comes to knowing her tools and her technology. So she'll have another VA that says, hey, my client needs a membership site and WordPress setup. Can you help me? Of course. I need to set up a complicated e-commerce shop for another client. Can you help me? So again, she's a perfect example of someone that continually learns in order to create new opportunities. Shift number 2 you can make note if you have your workbook downloaded. This is the shift from what I call a generalist to a specialist to, and this isn't a term, this is a Craig term. There is nothing, you can't look this up in the dictionary, a versatilist. I only did that because I was trying to follow suit with the first two. But basically what I'm saying is a versatile VA. There was a time in the VA industry a number of years ago where there was this shift to being, from a generalist, a general VA that might provide general support or general administration, which again is still in demand today, to specializing a bit more, specializing in social media, in WordPress design, in copywriting, in online business management, in virtual events and webinars. The list goes on and on and on. And there was a real push to say, if you specialize, it will increase your value because you'll have skills that other people don't, and it will increase your income opportunities. And that is entirely true. So I'm a big fan of you specializing your skills, finding a niche that is real good for you, and really learning and developing skills in that niche. But what we're seeing now is that clients' needs are vast, and things are so integrated now. So there's a need to be even versatile. It doesn't mean that you have skills in everything, but that you have knowledge in other areas beyond your specialization. Shift number 1, Barb, which you just couldn't write it down, continual learning from hobby to lifeline. So in other words, from something that's fun to do to an absolute necessity for us to grow. Shift number 2 is the shift from a generalist to a specialist to a versatilist, to a versatile VA. So I want to read this, just a part of this post that just came a couple days ago in our Facebook community at the university. And Cindy Van Arnhem, she is an online business manager, does project management work. That is her specialization. But then she realizes that she has to dive in a bunch of different areas. So she says, I'm having trouble wrapping my brain around the system that I need to set up, and I'm hoping for some advice. I have a client who needs customer registration forms, and she needs a system in place that makes all the following work. That when the person is directed to a landing page with information of the workshop, that all these steps follow. I won't read it all. But she's realizing, wow, I kind of have to be in tune with this technology. I could say I'm an online business manager, but if I don't necessarily have a good handle on the technology that my clients use and need, then it makes it difficult for me to do the work. So that's where she's recognizing, hey, I'm not a techie VA per se, but I'm diving into that technology because it's making me more valuable and versatile to my client audience. And so this is an example. So someone like Cindy, she's an OBM, or that's what she would call herself, an online business manager. But she also recognizes that she needs to know internet marketing as a whole, because her clients are setting up marketing funnels, and her client uses Infusionsoft. So to have a bit of an understanding of using Infusionsoft is important. Social media management, product launches, copywriting, webinars. Again, it doesn't mean that she's a master of all, but that she's diversifying herself a bit in order to create more opportunities. And that's what I'm seeing right now, is this shift to, you could say I only copyright, or I only transcribe, or I only do administrative support, or customer support. But the reality is, that's what I'm seeing on the web more and more now, is things are so integrated that it does make sense to have your sort of flagship specialization. This is what I'm specializing in, but these are all the skills, the complementary skills that would really support what I do. Okay, so again, I'm not going away from saying specialization is not the way to go, because it is, but also looking at what secondary skill sets would make me that much more versatile. Okay, so that's shift number 2, is to the versatile VA. Okay. Lisa says, I think you just gave me the identity I've been struggling to label myself as. Love this. I'd love to hear that later, Lisa. That's awesome. So I'll give you an example of this. This is from a job posting that we had, or a project posting we had at our university not so long ago, that these were the skills the person was looking for. They were looking for a VA that could do the administration for their online courses, manage a WordPress site, manage their ConvertKit, format documents in Word, and help them with a Facebook group and administrate it. Now, again, your specialization might be, content. You create content, you format documents, but by diving into a couple of these other areas, it does open opportunities for yourself as well. And as Sylvana has a good point. She says, but isn't this spreading ourselves too thin? I mean, wouldn't you need to raise your rates as you raise your knowledge and values then? Yeah, hear me clearly. You bring up an excellent point, Sylvana, because yeah, it's not about being a jack of all trades, that you know everything. It's being very clear on, the complementary skill sets that are around your specialization, that, that will just make you more versatile, that will open more opportunities. Because let me tell you, it's much better to work with two or three clients, like do more work with a smaller base of clients than doing smaller work with a larger base of clients. It's just more complicated the other way. So if you can do more work, which opens up, means you're going to be doing maybe slightly complementary stuff to expand the amount of hours you're working with them, to expand your retainer, then that ultimately could be an ideal situation for you as well. Dana, you were asking for a copy of the presentation. When I send a link out to the replay of this tomorrow, I will include a handout to this presentation. Okay. All right. So when we look at this, look at all the skill sets that are covered here: content management, technology support, internet marketing, content development. And again, the point is that you're not necessarily specializing in all, but it's good to have complementary skill sets that are on the cutting edge, or that are in demand, that people are asking for, because you never know when your core specialization someday becomes obsolete. Like Dorothy Vaughan found, they didn't need human computers anymore because they had an actual computer that processed it a bazillion times faster, processed calculations a billion times faster. Just being aware of the skills that you need to develop for the future as well. Okay. Tia just says, excellent point, I'm starting to fall into the small client trap. And it is a trap. It's sometimes where we have to be, because our businesses have these ebbs and flows where sometimes we have a whole bunch of small projects on the go, and sometimes we've got our ideal clients, 2 or 3, that are paying us well for a lot of work with them. But again, that's probably the ideal. It doesn't mean you always will end up at that spot. Yeah, Savannah says, it seems like an expectation is for a VA to know a lot of the software out there, but I don't see that as quite realistic. And again, it's client dependent, Savannah. Like, for example, at our university, we have 45 plus courses. And so often someone will come and say, I'm doing content, I'm managing my clients' blogs, but they just got on with ConvertKit, the email software, and they've asked me to set up the emails in it because I'm doing the writing for them. Do you have a course in it? And so, of course, yes, we do. And so that's usually where it happens. It happens in the moment where you then go and say, okay, now I need to take a little ConvertKit training. It's not saying every software, it's saying the software when you need it as well. Good points, though. Yes, and I will, Christina, I will send these presentation slides out after. If you opted in and registered for this event, it will come to your inbox, okay? All right, so cool. So the third shift, if you want to make note of this, is what I call the divide. The third shift is the divide. This is the shift from the digital divide to the motivation divide. The shift from the digital divide to the motivation divide. So what we're seeing here is there was a time where years ago there was a digital divide where in major centers, internet and internet technology was much more sophisticated. If you went out to the rural areas, outlying areas, third world countries, you didn't have the connections. Today, it's amazing with the proliferation of mobile media. There's people in tribal villages in Papua New Guinea that have smartphones, that have mobile devices. So the digital divide is kind of gone. It's not entirely gone, but it's way different than it used to be before. But what we're seeing now is no longer like the haves and the haves not, the people that have the technology and the people that don't. Now we're dealing with the motivation issue. Are you prepared to keep up with the technology and learn and grow and develop in order to keep and retain the opportunities that you have and grow your opportunities? That's what we're seeing today. And so, and I want to get to your point, Emily, because you have a good one here in a moment. But Zach Sims says, from the founder of Code Academy, he runs an academy for programmers, training how to be programmers. He says, when I walk into the subway and see someone playing Candy Crush on their phone, I think there's 5 minutes when they could be bettering themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. You may have played Candy Crush today, or you may have played a game as a way to have some downtime. I'm not outlawing all video games or things that are kind of away from work. But his point is that in this rapidly moving age, it's going to be the people that are motivated that are going to be the ones that are going to catch the edge, that are going to catch the opportunities. And that's where online learning is so cool now, is because you can learn it wherever. You could be sitting on a subway right now and watching this live workshop. So, with the proliferation of mobile technology, we really can learn wherever we are. And so now it really comes down to more of a motivation issue. Emily made a good point. She says, it seems strategic partnerships will be the most advantageous in today's VA market. Exactly. Some people may hire subcontractors on doing work that they don't want to do, or they, like you said, partner with another VA who is specialized in another area. Again, I'm a big proponent of specializations, but being versatile and adding to your skills in a complementary way is a huge asset for sure. Okay, so those are the three shifts to be thinking about. So the bottom line is, and you probably got this already, but your unwavering commitment to learning and developing new skills will set you up for long-term success in your VA business. It's the bottom line. We've trained over 10,000 students in the last almost 10 years, and the ones that I've seen real successful are those people that are always learning, and they never stop learning, and they're always growing new skills as well. All right, so I want to take you to the second part, which is our top 10 skills your clients will need coming into 2018 in the next few months. Okay, so what are these skills? I've got 10, and then I've got my honorable mentions list. Because you'll be like, Craig, you left off this and this. Wait till I finish my honorable mentions, and then I still may have left off some really valuable ones. But this is based on research from a lot of entrepreneurs that I'm connected to. This is based on surveys that we do with our larger audience, and in terms of what their clients are needing right now. So let's break it down. We're going to go through this fairly quick just for time, but I think you'll find this relevant. Skill number 1. This is not, you were expecting me to come up with some techie skill, weren't you? There are some of those on the top 10 list. It's project management skills. These were important 20 years ago, but they're still important today. I think I want to raise a good point, is that there are certain skill sets that seem to stand the test of time. Project management skills are one of them. But in this day and age, with you working online, it's different now. So now we're managing projects from afar. Now we're managing them virtually. Now we're managing them with a team of people we've never met. And so other than on Zoom or on Skype or on email or text or whatever. So we're now having to figure out, how do we manage projects well in a digital age? So Liz asked, do you think having a PMP designation is needed, or just having the skills? Liz, I'm a firm believer that we live in a skill-based economy. When I hear people looking for VAs, they'll say, do you know a VA that's skilled in this, that's specialized in this? Never do I hear that has a degree in this or that has a designation, a PM. Don't get me wrong, a PMP designation that's a meaty designation. It takes a lot of work to get that. But is it necessary in this rapidly moving, shifting economy? Not necessarily. Okay? But it's good to have. It's good to put on it's good to have. We have actually in our upcoming semester at VA Classroom University, we're launching a larger project management specialist certification. But our course is really geared to working in a digital space, like working in the virtual project management, which is basically more relevant to all of you as well. Sandy says, I've been doing PM work for 10 years in corporate America, but never got my PMP. That's right, Sandy, because you had the skills. Okay, so I'm a big proponent of skills. Certifications do create credibility, for sure, but the skills is at the end of the day what people want you to have. You could do a PMP and not be a great project manager. You could do 10 years of project manager and be a rock star project manager, even though you don't have the PMP. Okay, project management skills. Tim Wasserman from Stanford says it like this: the ability to convert strategy into action is the emerging skill of our time. He said this just 2 years ago. And it really is. That's project management, is taking a plan and putting it into action, putting the meat to the bones, so like just putting the wheels in motion. Okay. Years ago, I used to do a bunch of consulting work for Jeff Walker. I don't know if you all heard of Jeff Walker before. He's a pretty famous internet entrepreneur. He's the founder of the Product Launch Formula, which arguably is one of the most popular marketing programs of all time. And anyways, I was on his team. I was doing e-learning. I was designing courses for him and things like that. And he, during that time, was gearing up to launch his book, which was called Launch. And I remember, let me tell you, there were so many moving parts in terms of how this book launch was going to go off. And he is so bright and talented, but his forte is not managing a book launch, like managing a bigger project. And he had a gal named Kristen, who was his online business manager, that she would come into our meetings. There would be a bunch of us that had, specialists, and then there was him and Kristen. And she would put on a project management clinic in terms of orchestrating what we need to do, when it needs to be done, what needs to happen first. Her skill sets in project management was absolutely sharp. And let me tell you, working behind the scenes on this project, this book, I don't think would have ever launched without an effective project manager. That's how important it is. And so that's virtual project management. None of us were in a room together. We were all working, in remote places. But Kristen knew how to be a great virtual project manager. And I tell you, to be honest today, I learned a lot from her as well. So that's the first skill set, is project management. It doesn't matter whether you're doing social media work, content work, technology work. At some point, you're going to have to sit back and map out the project. And to have those skills that allow you to do that is super, super valuable. Okay, so that's project management. That's number one. I think that's really in demand right now, and it's not going away anytime soon. Skill number two is systems thinking skills. This kind of goes with project management. They're very complementary, but I wanted to make sure we covered both of them. Because right now, everything seems integrated. Like when I look at the different technology I use, everything seems to sync up with each other, but it requires us to really think systematically about how we're going to get everything to work as it should. So I love this quote from Winston Churchill. He says, "For the first 25 years of my life, I wanted freedom. For the next 25 years, I wanted order. But for the next 25, I realized that order is freedom." Have you ever walked into a client's business and you recognize that it's in complete disarray? They're a very talented entrepreneur, but they're completely disorganized. Their business landmines are going off everywhere, and it's a complete mess. That's where systems thinking comes in and completely allows their business to start to work in the way that it should. So systems equal freedom, and having the ability to create and put systems in place is an incredible skill set as well. So when we think of your clients, two of the most common challenges that they have: too much to do and too little time. And you might be saying, Craig, that's my problem. I got too much to do and too little time. Well, it's their problem as well. Busyness and scarcity, the lack of time. And so if those are the major challenges that a lot of your clients face, they need systems to survive and thrive. Okay, they need systems to survive and thrive. And so when I think of Cindy, one of our students at the university, she spent some time, and we've got some incredible mentors at our university that will troubleshoot these really complicated systems at times. And she had to fit all this technology together in this sort of workflow for a client and give it back to the client like the next day. And she was kind of freaking out a little bit. And I know I chimed in and a whole bunch of other people did. And at the end of the day, she ended up building this awesome system for a client that was kind of co-created through our university. I'm not taking credit for it, but it's all the other smart people there. But again, if I was to ask her, how important are systems to your clients, Cindy? She'd be like, they're huge, and I need to often be running and setting up and managing their systems for them. Okay, so systems thinking is skill number 2, very important. Skill number 3 is online community management. What do I mean by this? Certainly I mean social media, but I also mean all the groups and forums out there as well. So it's kind of all encompassing under that umbrella. So in this day and age, would you not all agree at times you feel a bit of information overload, or you feel there's so much, it's so vast, the information that you are being inundated with every day, and it's not stopping, like it's just, and it's overwhelming at times. So as it increases, an interesting phenomenon, say that 100 times, is happening on the web. As information overload increases online, niche communities are rising. In other words, people are saying, hey, I'm tired of this information overload. I want to be in a group of other experts like me, or other people with the same passion or hobby as me. And I want to connect with a smaller group of people in my niche, in my area, in my focus, and really camp there. And that's what we see happening on the net is community management is so important, because these niche communities are popping up all over the place because of this information overload. People are saying they're gravitating towards, as everything gets bigger, everything's kind of getting smaller. So we're seeing niche communities pop up. And this is really reinforced by what's happened at Facebook over the last couple months here. I don't know if you ever watch or tune into Mark Zuckerberg's sort of state of the address he does every year at his conference. And the big push and the new and improved mission that Facebook has is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. And as a result, Facebook now is invested money and time, and they're starting to add new features to Facebook groups. Groups is the one he talked about. He didn't talk about Facebook pages or profiles. He talked about groups as the place for you to really develop community. And as such, there's a need now for community managers that will manage those communities, that will support those communities, that will moderate those communities. And it's just scratching the surface. So obviously community management, it refers to managing profiles for clients, managing pages for clients, managing, groups, whether it's LinkedIn groups, whether it's Facebook groups, whether it's discussion groups and other forums, whether it's managing their Instagram feed or profile, or their Pinterest pages. All of that encompasses their community, because those are the people that your clients are seeking to reach out to. Social media management is a huge skill set to have right now. A lot of students that we've seen them go on to build more than full-time businesses just doing social media and community management. And maybe they've added other complementary skills along the way. But it's definitely an in-demand skill as we see groups becoming a bigger deal out there. Think about our own university. Currently, we have 5 paid managers of our group. We call them mentors, but they basically are that. They're community managers of our university. They all have a wealth of experience, but that's one of their gigs. One of their contracts is to manage our university community. Okay, so you're seeing more of these opportunities emerge, and they're going to just continue to grow and grow. As the internet grows bigger, you will see more of these smaller communities proliferate. All right, moving on, getting closer to the middle. Skill number 4 is online marketing funnels. funnels is a term when I started 15 years ago, I would never use. Maybe I'd use the term funnel cake, but I never referred to it in terms of the context of marketing. Now you're hearing a lot of your clients will be talking about their funnel or setting up their marketing funnel. Well, what does this exactly mean? Let me just give you a quick 101 on funnels. So this, and by the way, I'm actually flying out tomorrow to Vancouver, speaking at the International Virtual Assistant Association. I don't know if some of you are maybe you're already there, or some are part of IVA, maybe not attending the workshop. Great association, but they asked me to speak on funnels. So it's kind of in demand because it's a topic that they were requesting as well. So that's coming up in the next couple of days. That's going to be in person. I'm going to have to get out of my office and actually go and go on a stage. But this is an example of a funnel. So your client, let's say they're a WordPress consultant, or maybe you are. They're sending traffic. It could be traffic from a blog, traffic from social media, traffic from Facebook advertising is all coming into this funnel. At the top of the funnel is a free guide. They're giving away the top 10 WordPress plugins to power their website. Okay, so that they're giving that free guide to build credibility, to raise their stature, to just establish that sort of know-like trust factor. And then from there, they're sending those subscribers on a 7-day sequence, a 7-day journey, where they're giving them a blog post, a survey to assess their WordPress site needs. And through that, they're providing valuable content. Again, they're not selling anything at this point. There's nothing for sale. And then the third step, 7 days later, is they offer them a free website assessment consult. So a free 30-minute consult for them to sign up for with one of their calendar schedulers. And then from there, after they finish the assessment and give them some great value, they're then presenting them their basic or premium WordPress package that they can access to set up their own WordPress site. And then from there, the bottom of the funnel is that eventually that person becomes their WordPress manager. So they manage their WordPress blog month in and month out and get a monthly retainer for managing, updating their WordPress site. That's an example of a funnel. So, in the old school marketing, you just start selling them and saying, here, buy my website package. Today, it's like, here's a free guide. Here's an educational sequence. Here's a free consult. That's an example of funnel. Clients need help setting this up, not only putting the funnel together, but the technology. You need to have an email platform in place. You need to have landing pages in place. There's all sorts of technology that goes into building a funnel. This is hugely in demand right now as well. One of our mentors, she does this all the time. This has become the biggest part of her work is setting up these marketing funnels for clients. Okay, so that is skill number 4, is marketing funnels. All right, skill number 5, writing and editing skills. Okay, this is kind of like project management. It stands the test of time, doesn't it? It's absolutely an invaluable skill set for a virtual assistant to have, or for any type of freelancer for that matter. I want you to meet Jenna. Jenna is she's our content sort of guru. I call her my content star. I've known Jenna for years. She's been working with us for years, and this is what she does. So she edits every piece of content, including this presentation. So if you see a typo, you bring it up with Jenna, all right? Because I'm good at creating the presentations, but I'm not good at editing them. And so she edits every course, every PDF, every ebook, every blog post. And let's just say we do pump out a lot of content at the university, so she's busy all the time. I think we're one of her primary clients. She creates and formats PDF reports and checklists for us all the time, writes blog posts at least 2 to 3 a month, and transcribes audio. So we'll do audio, even like a Facebook live event. She will transcribe it and send out a summary to our students, things like that. And so you're asking Jenna's background. Jenna does have an English degree. That's our linguistics degree, I should say. I think it's actually a linguistics degree. But she's been freelancing. She would call herself a VA or a freelance copywriter, editor. She's been doing it for 10 years and doing really well. And I absolutely love working with her. So that's another really in-demand area, because there's so many different types of content you could be involved in creating. What was the name of the last content editing skill from the last slide? just writing and editing skills. I don't know if that's what you were referring to, Kara. Let me know if you need more than that. All right. Okay, so writing projects are literally everywhere. All right, blog posts, medium.com is one of the largest sort of article sites right now. I love reading articles at medium.com. LinkedIn articles at LinkedIn Pulse. Audio transcription is still very popular. Reports, writing reports, white papers, ebooks, website copy, sales pages, newsletters. That is actually, we do a newsletter called The Learning Curve every month at the university, and both Kelly and my partner and I, my wife and business partner, we both have pretty good writing backgrounds, and so we tend to write a lot of the newsletters. But now, because of busyness, Jenna is going to take over the newsletter. And so again, if you have writing skills, the doors open all over the place. And if Jenna was sitting here with me right now, she would be saying amen to that. Presentations, designing presentations, social media posting, the list goes on. This is a very in-demand skill set. Some of you might say, hey, I'm not a writer, but I'm a killer editor. There is work. Like even Jenna would say with her other clients, copy editing is a lot of work that she does. She writes some content for us, but she does arguably probably more copy editing and proofing and formatting as well. Okay. And yes, we do have content, a number of different content courses. Our most popular one that we just launched a number of months ago is called the Content Development VA Program, and it teaches you how to create content across presentations, articles, blog posts, videos, infographics. It covers every type of content. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so skill number 6 is content production and marketing. Okay, so we're going to stay on the content theme. The other one was copywriting. This is not writing. This is taking the copy and producing it and getting it ready to distribute and market. Okay, 2 different skill sets as well. Julie says, how do you respond when a potential client asks for some sort of writing degree, even if you've already done editing and writing? I think you have to say, I have been, you may quantify it and say, listen, I've been doing, working on writing and editing projects for the better part of 8 years or 9 years or 10 years. I've worked with clients in this industry and that industry. My experience in writing is from doing the work and, and honing my craft, because it is a craft. At the end of the day, you could sit in, I was in English for a while, in writing classes. You could sit in there, but until you actually start to do the work and really, put your boots to the ground, that's when you really start to hone your skills. So there you go. Again, you do not need a degree to be a great writer. And I know a lot of terrific editors and copywriters that they did not come from a writing background. So content production and marketing. Seth Godin, some of you may have heard of him. He's written lots of books, business books, marketing books. He's a very popular speaker. He says content marketing is the only marketing left, right? So in other words, your clients create all types of content in order to build relationship with their audience and in order to draw them, to establish that know, like, trust factor. In this social media driven era, you can't direct sell people anymore. You have to win them with value by offering value to their lives, by providing valuable content. That's where this area is so popular. So let me give you an example. Okay, I don't want to overwhelm you with this slide, but there are all types of content that you could be producing for clients. This is all the text. We talked about these already, blog posts and reports and checklists. The list goes on and on. In a content business like ours, we run a university. And there's so many businesses like us, by the way. We're driven by content. We need people to create worksheets and templates and checklists and guides and all the list goes on. And there's so many clients in that space. Audio interviews, podcasting. We have a podcasting course that's real popular because so many of their clients now are saying, hey, I want to set up a podcast. I have no idea how to do it. So doing the editing of podcasting I know one of our mentors, Susan Weeks, she has a website called Podcast Progress. I think I'm going to show it here in a minute. And she's almost built a full-time business around managing and editing people's podcasts. Okay, who would have thought? It's growing. Video. This is YouTube videos, Facebook being live, Facebook Live and on demand, a video-based blog or a vlog, webinars and video replays, social posts, online courses, the list goes on and on. So we see this is an important skill, is being able to produce and distribute these videos for our clients. Images. Wow, it's fun getting in graphic design these days. And let me tell you, you know what, the graphic design schools may not like to hear this. You do not need to have a degree or a diploma in graphic design to be doing great design work online, because you can learn the skills on the fly, and you could be doing very relevant stuff for people. I know some great designers that are all self-taught. Again, we live in a skill-based economy where people are more concerned about less concerned about your credentials and more concerned that you can do the job, that you have a great portfolio that you can show them. Infographics, mind maps, flowcharts, social media posts, SlideShare presentations, photos and images, lots of work to be done in this visual web that we find ourselves in as well. Dana says, I love editing videos and creating graphic images and all that self-taught. Again, there's so many cool tools. Yes, we got to keep learning because there's more tools that keep coming out, but lots to be done there. So give me an example. So a lot of these content mediums can be repurposed into one another, and that's a real skill set that you can give a client. It's called a content waterfall, where you take one piece of content and repurpose it into another, into another, into another. It's kind of like the old show MacGyver, where MacGyver could always turn nothing into something. That's kind of what you can do with content these days. So an example, this was a workshop I did a while ago on the 10 steps to starting a VA business from scratch. And we repurposed it like crazy as well. So it was a 10-step webinar. We then created an infographic that we handed out to our audience so they could print it out and see the 10 steps and follow the 10 steps. We transcribed it, or I shouldn't transcribe it. Jenna, she transcribed it. I shouldn't say we. It wasn't me. And she turned it into a PDF ebook that we gave away. We then cut out the 10 steps and turned them into little videos that we could distribute each step, because each one was a good piece of content. Created a blog post series, posted articles on LinkedIn and Medium. We didn't do the last couple steps here, which this is just giving you an example, but we could have turned it into a 10-day email course. It's a webinar. Let's say we take out those 10 videos in each with a step, and now it becomes a 10-day course. It could be a series of podcast episodes uploaded to iTunes, or we could syndicate it through social media. So that's an example. This is a fun part of content right now. If you love this kind of work, this is the kind of skill sets that your clients will love, that you can repurpose things into new pieces of content that allows them to distribute it through new mediums and new channels. Alrighty? Skill number 7, moving along here. Skill number 7 is multimedia editing skills. Again, kind of complementary to skill 6, but I wanted it to be a standalone because it's so important. Dana, you already mentioned about editing videos. That's a super good skill set to have right now. And so if we look at the ones we just showed you, that's editing audio interviews, podcasting, editing videos. Often we'll do this. We'll do a Facebook Live video. Download the video. Someone will then put an intro on it. So they'll put an image on the front with a little musical intro at the beginning, and then post it on our blog. Okay, those kind of things are a way to professionalize a video that was originally live. Now you're producing it and putting an intro to it, editing out some of my goof ups, my mess ups on the live show. Not that I do too many of them, but it is kind of off the cuff doing Facebook Live. So that's a great skill set to have. Being able to take your clients' webinars and edit out your clients' mess ups and their uhs and their ums and whatever else, and reproduce it into a quality professional production. Very, very big skill set. And then all the imaging stuff, designing and editing graphics and photos and all that is all really, really valuable. Nada says, I've done this type of content creation and editing for years, but it always has just been fun for me. I never knew this was a skill set. It's a big skill set, and it's an in-demand skill set, Nay, to be able to do all of that kind of work. Because all of it's time. We talked about what are the two challenges that entrepreneurs face. They face time, they have a scarcity of time, and what was the other one that I said earlier? But definitely time is a huge issue that they have as well. So being able to take that on is busyness. That's right, busyness and time. Thank you, Lady Beth. All right, so an example, I mentioned Susan Weeks. She's another one of our mentors at the university. She is a podcast extraordinaire. She's a VA, but she's been a VA for 10 years, but she's a perfect example of someone that didn't stay static, that she constantly was learning, growing, learning, growing, learning, growing. 10 years ago, she didn't say, hey, I'm going to be a podcast VA or a podcast specialist. That's how she kind of morphed as she saw the opportunities. She adopted a Dorothy Vaughan state of mind, and now she is beating away the work. Or I should say beating away the work, but she's overrun with a lot of work right now from all types of clients as well. Excellent. So yeah, how does this differ, Elizabeth, from repurposing content? Well, repurposing content, certainly some of those skills might come into play. This is more taking one piece of content like video and doing the editing work on it, or taking an audio piece and doing the work on it, or taking a photo and putting it into Photoshop and doing some cool stuff with it. So it's not repurposing as more as refining the existing piece of content. Skill number 8, online events management. Okay, online event management. If you are interested in managing webinars like the one I'm doing today for clients, there's a lot of work that goes into running online events. It's a huge part of clients' marketing funnels. They will put out an event that leads into their products or their programs, and we do things like that as well. So webinars are huge. Nancy B just asked, how do you feel about automated webinars where they appear live but they're really not? Is this becoming more popular? Yeah, there's a tool like Webinar Jam. You probably heard of, Nancy, where they do have that capability. They have the live and the pre-recorded. I bought Webinar Jam years ago, and I tried to do it, and I do a lot of live webinars, and I felt a little sketchy, to be honest, when they had this feature where you could put in not real people, but you could have the name, so you could fill up your webinar with Susie and Tom and Joe and Bob and Sally, but they're not real people, but you're trying to give the impression that you have a whole bunch of people on your webinar. I think that's sketchy, to be honest. Like, I think that's inauthentic. And in this day and age of marketing, businesses can't be inauthentic. You've got to be the real deal. And so when your clients want to create these funnels that are automated completely, so they don't even have to be there, there's a cost to that, because people eventually find out and say, yeah, I don't know if that jives with me or sits with me as well. Some people won't think about it, others won't like it. I think a better way to go is to do like what we would do here. We do a live webinar, we record it, and then maybe we have an offer later that is a replay. Sometimes I'll use the term an encore webinar, where it's delivered again, but it's not live. But we're being honest about it. They're still getting valuable content, but we're not trying to pretend that there's a bunch of live people in there. It's not true. Did you get kind of how I feel about it now? Probably. It's deceitful. Online events. This is a screenshot from my messy inbox. I just typed in webinar. The reason I show you this, just to give you an idea of how many people are pumping out webinars all the time. Like, our webinars in demand, I just have to go to my inbox and I'm fighting away the webinar invites. There's so many people that are using webinars, which speaks to opportunity for you in a big way. We have a great course we actually just launched in our last semester at the university called the Online Events Management Program, on helping your clients manage live stream events, webinar events, teleseminar events. There's a huge process that goes into doing all this. How to launch a conference. You see more virtual conferences as well coming up. So online event technology, there could be tools like for teleseminars like freeconferencecall.com or instant teleseminar. In the past, I don't do teleseminars anymore, but I used to use Free Conference Call. It's a good one. Webinars, these are probably 3 of the most popular. There's other tools, but GoToWebinar, Zoom, Adobe Connect. If you want an automated webinar, you might move into more of a Webinar Jam kind of tool. Live stream tools, Facebook Live, Google Hangouts, as you know, has kind of gone by the wayside, or they've repackaged it as YouTube Live. So now you've got 2 real viable live stream channels. And let me tell you that those are great ones to repurpose or edit and produce as a a new piece of content as well, just through live stream events. So those are all the different types of technology you can get into and manage. We cover all of that actually in our program. So Facebook Live, this is an example. I have a social media VA that works for us, but she also manages our live streaming events. And she's in there. So when we would do an event like this one we did last month, that was how to overcome self-doubt in your business. It's on replay, I think, on our Facebook page. But she's in there responding to comments. So she's chiming in, she's supporting the moderation side while I manage the content side. So that is huge as well. All right. Kimberly says, you mentioned Photoshop and other software, and it made me think that's something I need to know. Do VAs purchase all that software tools? And if so, do you have information on what the costs are? I know it well. I actually have a blogger that lives in my house. It's my teenage daughter. She's 15. She's super savvy. She's a horse rider, but she has a really good following on her blog. And she creates images and graphics all the time. And she has the Adobe kit. So I think hers is, because I think I pay for it. I know I pay for it. I think it's $20 a month. So she pays and gets access to, because she's a student, she gets a better rate. So she gets all these tools under one, like Photoshop and Adobe InDesign and all of these. But I think just like Adobe InDesign or Adobe Photoshop, I believe is $20 a month for an annual. So you pay it. So it's actually not too bad. But do you need Photoshop? You could certainly use a lot of the tools like Canva. Canva is a great tool for creating images, and we use those tools a lot. Photoshop just takes it to a bit of another level as well, for sure. Dana says, I wish I had InDesign. Yeah, InDesign I think is about $20 a month for a subscription, but it's perfect for the, if you're looking at the workbook, do you all have the workbook in front of you? That was created in InDesign. My daughter actually created that, to be honest. She's savvy with Adobe products. So she created, often when I need a handout or important workshop, I go to her because she's a specialist in that stuff. So yeah, that's all done in Adobe InDesign. And it's good. Once you get a template, she has a number of templates that she's created for us. It's just kind of rinse and repeat. We just add new copy and it's easy. So it's the real work is just creating the first template as well. So Adobe's a good skill set. I will send you the book after, Nina. Online conferences, as I mentioned, these are so popular. We're seeing probably less physical conferences than in-person conferences than we ever before. I'm going to one next week, which is cool, but we're seeing a lot of online conferences, and they require a lot of moving parts. We have our online event management program, but we also created a specialty course called How to Coordinate and Manage Virtual Summits and Conferences, because it requires even a different skill set, because you're like an event planner, virtual event planner for this bigger conference. You're working with guest speakers and coordinating all sorts of different things as well. All right, yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, Tanya Sutherland's a good friend of mine. I'm going to be seeing her actually down at IVA. She lives in the Vancouver area. Skill 9, marketing technology. Again, to understand how everything is connected right now. So this is a rapidly evolving landscape. Technology is more sophisticated, but it integrates more. Like if I use a tool like ConvertKit. ConvertKit is my email platform. But ConvertKit connects with my e-commerce system. It connects with my learning management platform. They're all interconnected, but you kind of need to know how they all work. It does take some skills. So with that being said, there's a number of different sort of technologies that are good to know. So there's all-in-one marketing systems. There are VAs that are building businesses just being able to set up and manage Infusionsoft or Entreport or One Shopping Cart. But Infusionsoft is a certification course we have because it's people have a full-time business just working in that crazy big Infusionsoft software. Okay, there's lots of opportunity there. Email marketing is huge right now. Being able to set up email lists, set up broadcasts and email sequences and manage lists, that's a huge skill set. MailChimp, Aweber, ConvertKit, those are examples of email platforms. Okay, those are very in demand. Setting up all types of marketing pages. Your clients need opt-in pages and sales pages and webinar registration pages. So that's like using tools like Lead Pages or Instapage or Optimize Press. Again, very, no longer do people have to create a web page from scratch when they're wanting to create a marketing page. You just use these tools, but often clients don't know how to use them. They may have purchased Lead Pages thinking, wow, that's cool, but they don't actually know how to do it. And that's where you come in and set up all of their pages and manage all of that for them as well. Huge, huge skill set to have. Last one, skill number 10 is website management. There's a lot of website developers out there, but there's, and designers for sure, but the opportunity is still so vast. Let's just say there's plenty of fish in the sea. I think in 2002, when I got started, creating websites was costly, complicated, and frustrating. Oh, it was frustrating. To change one thing was painstakingly hard. Today, in 2017, it's cost effective. There's tons of creative options. And it's super user-friendly as well. Like there's so many creative themes that you can go with that, you don't have to go to web design school. You could learn this and be designing WordPress websites for your clients as well. Yeah, huge. Cheryl says, so the marketing technology skill set seems to be tied directly to online marketing funnels. Exactly. Yes, because, the marketing funnel basically it uses tools like Lead Pages. It might have Infusionsoft. It may be connected to ConvertKit. So yeah, so knowing how to set up the funnel and then implement it is an unbelievable sort of dual skill set to have. All right, but this is the day and age that we're in now. There's website builders like Wix and Weebly and Squarespace. Those are sort of, I shouldn't say easy, but those are ways that you can quickly create sites for clients. And manage them. And then there's WordPress. Almost 30% of all websites are run by WordPress online. There's lots of user-friendly themes. This is still very much an in-demand service. Not only just to design it, but manage it on a monthly basis. Publish all the blog posts, update all the plugins, manage the security. All of that is in demand and a great opportunity. 30% of all websites, there's a bazillion websites out there that are run by WordPress that people need support with as well. All right. So again, that gives you the rundown. Just an honorable mention of a few that I didn't mention. Customer support is still a skill, an endless demand for having customer support skills. Now it's done using live chat apps, or it's done, phone, could be phone or email or other means, but certainly in demand. Product launches, understanding how to coordinate product launches for clients, very much in demand. Facebook ads, running Facebook ad campaigns. Facebook is a bit rocket science. I just created a course on social media advertising at our university, and it's a very well laid out course, but it's comprehensive to manage these ads. And I can't imagine your clients being able to figure it out at times. So it's a great skill set to have. Graphic design, we already mentioned Adobe InDesign as one. And then financial management, still bookkeeping, if that's your thing. That's one of those, that falls into the writing and the project management, the customer support. Those skill sets are very, very valuable as well. All right, so those are some of the honorable mentions. So that's the 10 skill summary. Project management, systems thinking, marketing funnels, community management, writing and editing, content production, online event management, multimedia editing, marketing technology, and website management. I know that we're almost at the 75-minute mark, but I really want you to stay with me because I got a couple more important things I want to share with you that I think is going to be hugely important for you as well. Okay. Now, in terms of the average income for those skills, Catherine, it's a bit of an apples to oranges question in the sense of like they don't all necessarily equal out exactly the same, and they're all packaged differently. Writing might be by the word or by the blog post or by the page. Projects management could be on a retainer. But if you were wanting to break it down to an average hourly rate for some of these, some of the specialist ones for certainly could be $50 to $100 an hour. For sure. If you have that if you understand marketing technology, 50 to 75 an hour, easy, for sure. Some might be more in the range of 40 to 50. But again, I'm using hourly. I know a lot of people do packaging, and that's another whole webinar for another day, for sure. So I want to talk to you just real quick about, you got all these great skills, but how do you promote them? what are the best ways? And I want to real quick, and I'll go through this pretty quick. This is in the last section of your workbook, is 5 winning strategies for promoting these new skills or your existing skills to the ideal client audience. The first one, I meant to call it, this should be, do I have 2 number? Oh, I've got 2 number 2s. Look at that. All right, did my editor, you know what? I could blame this on Jenna, but I actually added this after Jenna edited this, so it's all me. It's all on me. Okay, so number 1 is promote your skills with a compelling presence. This is huge. It is the age-old statement, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Let's say you meet a client at a conference or a prospective client, and you have a good conversation, you give them your business card, or you tell them your website, and they come to it and they're like, oh, they're kind of let down, or they're confused, or it's hard to navigate. That is one way that it doesn't shine a positive spotlight on your skills if your website is not quality and is not a good, compelling presence. The cool thing about tools like Squarespace or Wix or even WordPress is that you can create really nice looking sites now that shine a positive spotlight on your brand and on your skill sets. And so that's the first thing, is promote your skills. Make sure you have a really strong presence. If you've got grade A skill sets, but you're setting them to a C+ or a C- or C grade website, that something doesn't add up, right? And you don't want them to have a false impression because you are really talented. You don't want the website to hurt your credibility. Hope that makes sense. Number 2 is promote your skills via quality content. Okay, one of the ways that you get known as a specialist in your area is by writing content, blog posts, articles, social media posts, doing webinars, having a podcast, ebooks, reports. Some of the best VAs some of the VAs that I know that have a lot of work and do real well is they publish regularly. They pick one channel. It could be a blog or a social media post or a webinar, and they focus on that channel and they produce real good content, Facebook Live, whatever it might be. The reason we do this is because it showcases that you know what you're talking about. It helps to build credibility. It helps to build the know, like, trust factor that leads people to become clients. Promote your skills via quality content. That's number 2. Third one is to promote your skills in community. In other words, join targeted groups where your client audience hangs out and add value, contribute, join the conversation. And you'll be amazed at how that will lead to opportunities and connections and potential clients. Promote your skills in community by being a valuable source of support in these communities. That is, again, an invaluable way. This can be done well in LinkedIn groups, targeted LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. It could be with specific audience, like a real estate agents or authors. It could be with specialty groups, like an Infusionsoft group. Promoting your skills in community is a great way to get your name out there. Number 4, promote your skills via your circles of influence. I won't go too deep into this. We actually have a whole course on this, but this is where you're tapping into your personal circle. So the people that you know, friends and family, friends of friends, friends of family, that may be interested in someone that has your skill sets. People in your local area, maybe the chiropractor that you visit all the time that has a bad website and needs social media help. Those are often the first clients that you can land is in your personal circle. And then your professional circle, these are other VAs, other colleagues that you work with that might refer you service. So you go back and forth. Like, I think someone used the word strategic partnerships. That could be a way to tap into your circle. I know Teresa, one of our mentors, she does this all the time. And then there's prospects. This is where you're targeting new people that are new connections on maybe Twitter or LinkedIn or places like that, where you're getting to know them, trying to build a rapport and make a good connection with them. And that really taps into our 5th one, which I know this word is sometimes a bit of a swear word. People don't like it, don't like cold calling, but I still believe in it. Promote your skills via cold calling. And I might actually even use the term warm calling, because it's really all about, and this is again, another course that we have, this is the process that I take people through, is you profile your ideal client. Who is the client that you actually want to work with? What do they like? What do they not like? What are the problems that they need solved? Source that client. Where do they hang out? Are they active in LinkedIn? Are they on Twitter? Where are they? Screen them. Determine a list of the people that you want to really get to know or reach out to or connect with. You've checked out their website. You've checked out their offers. There may be people that you really want to work with. Build that list of prospects, and then warm the prospect by connecting with them. And you connect with them in a meaningful way. You share something that you've liked about their blog post, or maybe you've commented on their blog post, or you've commented on something that you appreciate about what they offer. People love that. Not shameless flattery, but just meaningful feedback. Okay, and then follow up with the prospect in terms of sharing what you do and how you can benefit them. Okay, so again, it's not a process of it's a process of connecting with them, warming the client, getting to know them a little bit, and then offering an opportunity. There are potential, maybe on LinkedIn, if you start to search for your category, maybe you work with authors or coaches or business coaches or real estate agents. There's a whole audience out there that you can reach out to, but we need to be proactive and do it as well. All right, so that is the 5. Those are just a quick summary. Is build a compelling presence, create quality targeted content in one area, connect with the right online communities, leverage your current circles of influence. You never know, there might be a client hiding in one of your circles, and practice cold calling the right way, not the wrong way. Those are 5 that I'd recommend. So just as we start to come to a close, I want to introduce you to something, and I want to just share something with you that I think you're going to love. So these are the 10 skills that we talked about. The challenge that we face today, and I kind of talked early on about this, is trying to keep pace with the shifts in all the things that we need to learn. And I think that's why we exist actually at VA Classroom University. That's people often will say, how do I learn all these skills and keep current in this changing landscape? Well, that's why we've created our university. And that's why we've created a comprehensive university across tracks, from content to design to to marketing, to social media, to business management and support, because we know that while you may not need all of it, at times you're going to have to dive into different areas, or you're going to want to maybe dive into a new track or develop a new niche. And so we've created a university that offers all those courses under one hood that you can actually access. Let me tell you a bit about it and how you can actually even get started today in upgrading your skills and getting you potentially on an exciting path. So our university features 45 relevant VA training certifications and courses across 6 tracks. There's monthly live skill workshops on topics important to you. We do them sometimes on technology, on business, on customer-client relations, all sorts of different cool ones. There's an interactive learning community in Facebook that we have 5 paid mentors, as well as myself and Kelly are in there. And that group, and often our students will say it's worth its weight in gold, because people can come with foundational questions. They're just starting out. People come with very technical, advanced questions, and we have people in there that will respond very quickly and support them. So it's huge to have that asset ongoing, that you know where to go when you need help. Practical tutorials on technology that's most important. So we talk about how do we keep pace with all this technology. Well, we're kind of doing that at VA Classroom because we're very much in tune with the trends, and we're creating training that your clients need you to know and have right now as well. Okay, and then we also have, in addition to that, a professional VA directory to showcase your specialized skills and to attract a new client audience. So when you enroll in our university, you get a professional listing to our directory that is accessed by a whole bunch of prospective clients. So it's a place to educate, but also connect with new leads as well. How many VAs are in the directory? I would probably say, I haven't looked at the exact number right now. There's a couple hundred, maybe 100 to 150, could be less. That's not one area that Kelly manages the directory and the approval process for that more than I do. So I'm kind of ballparking it a little bit, Laura. The new university offers 3 semesters per year, so September, January, and May. And so each semester we feature new certification, new courses, new workshops. So in addition to all those on-demand courses you get access to, we're bringing brand new courses every semester that our students love. It just keeps them sharp and current. And so essentially we add 18 new courses every calendar year. And then we also get rid of ones that are irrelevant, right? Because we want to keep it as current as possible, okay? We have industry-leading certification programs across these 6 tracks: social media, internet marketing, content development, business development and support, virtual events, and technology. So across all those areas. And we have a certification system that we use, a third-party provider that distributes all our certifications. So when you complete a course, automatically you get an email in your inbox for that certification course that congratulates you, and you can download your certification and get your logo as well. So it's run through Accredible is the name of the company, where you can where we access all of our certifications, and where you can you can refer back to all the certifications that you've done at VA Classroom, which is pretty cool. We also have an on-demand course library. It's a whole variety of skill-building courses designed to improve and expand the skills that you offer. So we essentially have 2 tracks in that library. We've got skill-building courses. These are designed to meet sort of your and your clients' current needs in a variety of niches. And then there's business-building courses, working with clients, marketing yourself, building your website, all of those sort of, creating systems in your business. All of those things that are more business building courses. We offer both of those tracks in our course library. As I said, we have monthly skill workshops. They're about 90 minutes long on topics that are really important to you. We have monthly workshops that they're scheduled 4 months in advance. So the whole calendar is already up in terms of what we're doing until the end of the year as well. Okay. And so what we do is, once we do the live workshop, we repurpose it into a short course. So all of these: Business Planning 101, Customer Support Rockstar, Creating Effective Systems, Cold Calling in a Digital Age, Package and Price Your VA Services. Those sound pretty good, eh? They are. They're really good workshops. They're all packaged and broken down into shorter videos that make it easy for you to access. Erica, the project management certification, is in our certifications area, and it's being launched in this semester that we're coming up. It's going to be a brand new one that we're excited about. We have an existing one called the Project Management Superstar. That's a smaller one, but this one's going to be a bit more comprehensive. But we still have that one that is really highly regarded by our students as well. We have a monthly office hours. So this is a time where you get to connect with me once a month and our mentors, some of our mentors, and do Q&A. I often will bring in guest experts, but there's always a time for you to ask questions live every month. In addition, of course, to the Facebook group all the time. But this is where you bring your burning questions, your challenges, discussion topics that are important to you as well. We have our Tech Corner. Like I said, this is where you get your geek on. Every once in a while, you learn tutorials on all sorts of different apps and technology that your clients need you to know. This could be landing page tutorials, analytics tools, social media management, e-commerce, productivity tools. Again, those are all things. We live in a technologically sophisticated age, so we need to keep pace with that, right, as well. And then the Virtual Assistant Resource Center has checklists and guides and tools to power your business as well, which is cool. We also added in the last semester a software practice area. So we go ahead and purchase a bunch of premium software that you don't have to purchase, because that'll be a monthly cost for you, but you can practice using our software. So for example, we have a Lead Pages course, and we have a Lead Pages account that you can go in and practice designing all the lead pages and get mastery and get comfortable over doing that skill that you can then turn into a service with your clients. Okay, so the sandbox is cool. Infusionsoft, ConvertKit, and we're adding more and more. We got a cool tool called Vengadge, which creates premium infographics like no other. So our clients our students are leveraging the sandbox, and they love practicing. Learning the skills in the courses is one thing, and then practicing is another thing, and that helps you to achieve mastery and get comfortable with what you're doing. We've got a great learning community. I love this community of people. They're just inspiring and supportive and very wise. It's moderated by 5 talented mentors as well. So really, really great. And this is kind of your one place to go to connect with others, ask questions, get the support that you need as well. These are our mentors. They come from different parts of the world, and they have a whole wealth of experience as well. We have our professional directory, as I said. This is a screenshot of the front. You can create a visually appealing profile web page in our new directory. So this is a way for you to kind of showcase your skills to a growing base of clients. And even if you don't have a website to start, you could set up a professional profile with us and even direct clients there as well. All right. So this is another screenshot of how our professional directory looks. All right. And then we have our semester schedule. We run from September to December for this next semester. We run 3 semesters a year, and you can download this if you just choose to enroll, and it'll give you a whole schedule of what we're covering over the next 4 months. All right. So for example, for this semester, just to give you a quick snapshot, we've got our project management skill workshop coming up, or certification. We have marketing success with WordPress, optimized press success, which is another WordPress tool. In September at the end, we've got onboarding new clients with excellence, which is how do you onboard new clients well. Email inbox and calendar management for you and your clients, mastering Google Analytics, and the fine art of writing effective headlines. So often our curriculum is based across those 6 tracks. So it makes for a fairly well-rounded university for certain. We have our course catalog that features all of them. It has descriptions of all of these particular courses. So what does it cost you? And how do you get started today? So that's the 2 final questions that I will answer, and then I'll get to any other questions that you have. I know this is gone right to the 90-minute mark, but I really want you to get this new offer today, because we're opening registration for VA Classroom University for the final time this year. It won't open until 2018. So this is an opportunity for you to join an incredible learning community that we have at our university. So we ran VA Classroom we've run it for 10 years. For the first 8 years, we ran an a la carte model. So you could purchase 1 course at a time for $297 or $147 or $67 based on what the course was or the size. And you could purchase them on an individual basis. But what we found over time is that people will come to us and say, my client needs me to know Infusionsoft and social media, but I don't have the money to buy both. Which one would you recommend? And so we realized after a lot of these requests that we thought it would be better for us to have an offer, a very cost-effective offer for you to get access to everything when you need it. You may not need WordPress tomorrow or Infusionsoft tomorrow, but a week or month or 6 months down the road, it might be exactly the skill you need to learn. So that's the cool thing about our university is you have access to all of it under one hood. And so in the old model, if you bought all of our 45 certifications, it might cost somewhere around $7,000+. That's kind of what it would be, an exorbitant amount to cost to pay for training. And then in addition, we add 18 new courses every year, which is almost another $2,000 worth of training on our old model. These aren't just numbers out of the blue. These are actually what we used to charge for courses. So we decided to make it super cost effective, give you everything under one hood. And so this is our new model. So you get access, and this slide actually should say August 30th. It's not April 30th. This goes for a full year. So you would enroll with us for a full year. So we got 2 annual packages. The one pay of $597, which gives you about $100 savings purchasing in a one pay. And then 12 pay, if you decide that you want to finance it over 12 months, then it's $59 a month. And that, again, gives you access to everything. You looked at what it used to cost courses before, our courses used to cost before. This is an incredible value, and certainly one that you want to take advantage of. This is our last enrollment period. This is your opportunity to register now. And so you can go check out our registration. It's open right now at vaclassroom.com/university. So vaclassroom.com/university. Go check it out, and it will kind of go through all the details of our university. So I'm just going to pop over there real quick. I just had it open. So this is what it'll look like when you arrive. You go to vaclassroom.com/university. Hit the play button because you get a little welcome from Kelly and I. It's about 5 minutes long.
Hi there, my name is Craig Can.
Let me turn that off. And so a little video introducing kind of our background as to why we started this and why we're excited about training virtual assistants why we've done it for 10 years and why we're so excited to continue doing it. And then it'll give you all the details. So if you click the enroll buttons, any of the enroll buttons on the page, it will quickly slide down to the area where you can enroll. And it gives you the 2 plans. And again, I'll edit that. That should be August, end of August. It's a full year. It actually goes for 365 days based on your enrollment day. So if you enroll today, it will go till September, whatever, 12th, a year from now. That it's a full 365 day plan. So again, the one pay plan is $597. And then we have an option for you to pay over a course of 12 months, making it super affordable as well for $59 a month. That is it. And again, you get access to everything. We have an incredible learning community at our university. And I know if you choose to enroll with us, you will not regret it. And the one I was going to show you, actually, right now we have a whole bunch of students re-enrolling because they finished their year from last year. And this is one of them that just came in. Cindy says, just renewed. This university has so much value that it would be ridiculous of me to choose no on that offer. Thank you, Craig and Kelly, for all you do. I honestly don't know where I'd be today if it weren't for this group. You guys rock. Okay, and that's the echo of so many of the students, that they really feel blessed that they found our university, they found the people that they're with, the courses that they've taken, and it's taken their skill sets to an entirely different level. So don't miss out on this opportunity. This is the last time to enroll for 2017. Won't open it till next year. And this is at vaclassroom.com/2017. Oh, sorry, to vaclassroom.com/university. There we go. We'll get it straight. All right, so I want to open up to you. I know you probably have some questions, and I know I've kept you a long time, but definitely don't miss out on this opportunity because it's a really, really good and affordable one as well. Okay, so bunch of questions coming in. Is there a strict curriculum once I enroll, or do I progress with courses at my own pace? It's completely self-driven. So we guide you through an orientation initially so you get comfortable with using the tool, and then you determine the track and the courses that you want to choose, and going through the catalog and selecting the ones that best suit you. So it's fully self-paced. Now, we do live events every month, but those are always repurposed into short courses after as well. Okay. And thank you, Tia. Yes, it is an affordable offer. It's an incredible community. I think it's the best out there, and so one certainly worth checking out. Do you pay for certifications, or is that included? No, it's a part of it. So you get, we're connected with a third-party credentialing company called Accredible, and it's all automated. So once you complete a certification, you immediately get an email, you download it, you can put it on your website. A lot of people will use those to showcase their ongoing professional development here at VA Classroom as well. It is, self-paced learning, similar to Linda, except that we have live training, we have a Facebook community, we have other interactive touch points as well. All right. Do you have to create a new account if you're a previous member? If you're a previous member of the old platform, Rose, yes, you would. It'd be brand new. If you haven't been in the new university, then definitely you'd have to create a new one as well. And yes, Andrea, I will send a replay link to this webinar tomorrow so you can check it out again as well. Do you, Dana, hopefully I'm saying your name, I don't know if it's Dana or Dana, but do you have anything on growing a multi-VA business, steps to take? Yeah, we have, we did a cool workshop a couple months ago and I brought in someone that's skilled in running their own multi-VA agency. And then I brought in someone that was a subcontractor, and they both shared their strategies on how they built their VA business as a subcontractor, and then how they contracted, and the other person, how they built the VA business. So there's huge takeaways on that topic in that workshop. So yeah, and there's a lot of multi-VA business owners in our community that would lend a lot of wisdom in that area as well. Okay. All right. Okay, someone says, I'm already enrolled in the university. Is my subscription continuous? No, you will have to re-enroll, renew at the end, or if you've finished, depending if you're, if you started in January, September, or January, May, or September, that will be your re-enrollment period, depending on what semester you jumped in at as well. Okay, someone says, why do you open it 3 times a year? Because we're similar to like a university, where if you were to go to university, there's a summer semester, a winter semester, and a fall and a winter semester. We open up new curriculum every year, and we like to see our students start at a certain area where everyone's kind of going with one cohort together in this new intake with new courses as well as obviously the existing students as well. So we found that it works really well. Okay. So it's open just for this, for the next few days here. Registration closes. I think the closing date is Friday, September 22nd is the last day to register for this year. Do you do workshops for the new VA, something along the lines of how to launch into the business? Exactly, Nate. We have a course called VAC 101. It's a part of the university as well, and it's a 10-step process on how you actually start and launch your business. We've got a business planning workshop on how to map out a new business. So yeah, lots of courses on foundational courses, but then we got the technical and skill-based courses as well for new and existing VAs. Okay, so it really offers a lot. It really meets the needs of new, but it also really helps to be sort of a professional development hub for experienced existing VAs as well. Okay. All right, lots of good questions coming in. Is it US or Canadian dollars? It is all US. We have such an international audience, as you can see here today, and so it is all US. We've gone with one currency to simplify the process as well. Someone asked, do we provide anything on accounting and payroll? No, but it's on our radar because even though it was only an honorable mention today, it is a course that has been requested before and one that we're looking at adding. So thanks again for sharing it as well. Okay, I'm just looking at other ones. I have experience creating and managing Facebook groups. I've grown a few of the groups that I did for fun. How do I add that to a list of skills? Well, I think it's, being a social media manager or community manager where you go in and help moderate and manage groups for coaches and authors and clients and people and course creators and info marketers, these people that have large groups that need someone to help moderate and manage groups. There's a huge need for that. I see that growing even more and more coming into this next year as well. Okay, looking at any other questions. Can you pay for that separately, or is it for the entire year? Yeah, no, our model is an annual model. So we want you to come join us, and we will invest in you for the next year. And we know that your business will look different at the end of the year. And so it's an annual program. It's either one pay or, like I said, we've tried to make it affordable and put a 12-pay option in as well. Tax break, the expense of your university qualifies as an education expense when you do your business taxes. For sure, it's learning and training and education, and it certainly would fit into that as well. Okay. Yes, I think Sylvana, it is good value. And I think once you get in there, you'll realize, wow, we really do offer a lot at this university. Kelly, yes, it's a recorded webinar, and we will, oh, sorry. This webinar, well, I definitely have a replay for this one, but the live workshops that we do in the training area or in the university, yeah, they get repurposed into small courses, so they're always there as well. Okay, so yeah, you get access to those all the time. Okay, good. All right, well, everyone, I don't want to keep you too long, but I would encourage you to join us. You will love this community. If you love this training today and you thought there was some value, well, this just scratches the surface of everything that you could access at our university for a very affordable rate. The reality is you have to invest in yourself to take your business to the next level, and part of that might be starting with us at the university here. So definitely check us out at vaclassroom.com/university. If you have questions and I didn't answer your question today and you're really offended, don't be offended. Just connect with support@vaclassroom.com. And we're waiting to answer any questions that you have. And this is only open for a few days. Take advantage of it. This is the last time for 2017. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. It's been a pleasure of mine being with you. And I hope to see you in our university here real soon. Take care.